The crystal champagne glasses clinked as my stepmother, Diana, raised her third toast of the evening to celebrate my husband's retirement. She proudly announced her excitement for selling my father's company and moving on to something more exciting. I saw my dad's face fall slightly, though he tried to hide it with a smile. He had built Chin Manufacturing from the ground up over 30 years, and now, at his retirement party, his wife was planning to dismantle it. Diana wasn't done. Her eyes found me across the room, and she spoke loudly, making sure everyone could hear. Of course, some people thought they'd inherit this company, she said with a malicious glint in her eyes. Poor little Alexandra, thinking daddy would give her a multi-million-dollar business when she can't even keep a relationship for more than 6 months. The room fell silent. Some board members shifted awkwardly, while others pretended to be interested in their drinks. My dad just stared at the floor, saying nothing, as usual. It's for the best, really, Diana continued, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Running a company requires maturity, experience, and a proper family image. She patted her flat stomach, a reminder that she was trying to give my dad a real air. I felt my cheeks burn, but I stayed calm, let her have her moment. She had no idea what was coming. Would you like to say something, Alexandra? Diana asked sweetly, pretending to be kind. Perhaps congratulate your father on his retirement and his wise decision about the company's future? I stood up slowly, smoothing my black blazer. At 28, I was young for a CFO, but I had earned every step up the ladder. Even if Diana didn't understand that, she probably thought I was just a middle manager her guilt kept around after my mother's death. I actually do have something to say, I replied, my voice steady and clear. Diana's smirk widened as I walked to the center of the room. She probably expected me to cry, beg, or cause a scene, but instead, I pulled out a thick envelope from my briefcase. 6 months ago, I began, addressing everyone in the room. Chin Manufacturing underwent a quiet restructuring. The board approved it unanimously. I glanced at the board members, who nodded slightly. My father transferred majority ownership to a new holding company. Diana's smirk faded, and my father finally looked up, confusion on his face. The holding company is called NLW Enterprises, I continued, enjoying the sight of Diana's face twisting in confusion. It stands for Mary Louise Wong, my mother's name. Diana's champagne glass trembled in her hand. What are you talking about? She demanded. I opened the envelope and started placing the documents on the nearest table. These papers show that I own 67% of Chin Manufacturing through NLW Enterprises. My father retains 30%, and the remaining 3% is divided among key employees. The room erupted in chaos. Diana lunged at the papers, her manicured nails scratching at the documents, as if she could make them vanish. This is impossible, she shrieked. James, tell her this is impossible. But my father was smiling, really smiling, for the first time in years. It's all legal, Diana, he said quietly. Alexandra earned this. She's been practically running the company for the past 2 years while I've been distracted. He looked at me apologetically. But, Diana stuttered, her face turning bright red beneath her makeup. We have plans, the house in the Hamptons, the yacht club membership. About that, I said, pulling out another document. As majority owner, I've been reviewing all company expenses, including the generous consulting fees being paid to your brother's fake marketing firm, and the business trips that always seem to end up at luxury spas. Diana went pale. You wouldn't dare. I already have. The board has approved a full audit. The police are very interested in some of the creative accounting you and your brother arranged. James, Diana, she turned to my father, panicked. Are you going to let her do this to me, your wife? My father stood taller than I had seen him in years. My late wife, Mary, helped me build this company, he said firmly. She made me promise it would go to our daughter when the time was right. Alexandra has proven herself more than capable, and you, he shook his head sadly, you've proven yourself too, just not in the way you intended. Diana's carefully built world was falling apart. Her designer purse fell open as she grabbed for her phone, spilling its contents on the floor. Among them was a small USB drive I recognized, one that had gone missing from my father's office months ago. It contained proprietary company designs. She was looking for a buyer for our trade secrets. I asked quietly, picking up the USB drive, which explained all those lunch meetings with our competitors. Diana's face twisted with rage. She raised her hand as if to slap me, but my father grabbed her wrist. Security will escort you out, I said calmly. Your personal belongings will be shipped to you after they're checked for any other company property, of course. And Diana, I smiled sweetly, mimicking her fake sympathy. Don't worry about the prenup. It has a lovely clause about corporate espionage. As security led a screaming Diana away, the room buzzed with excitement. Board members came to congratulate me, and employees who had suffered under Diana's rule looked relieved. My father pulled me into a tight hug. "I'm so sorry, Alex," he whispered. "I've been such a fool. Your mother would be so proud of you." I hugged him back, breathing in the familiar scent of his aftershave. "I know, Dad, I know." But our moment of reconciliation was interrupted by an urgent call. Diana's brother had been caught trying to delete files from the company servers. Something told me this was just the beginning. I touched my mother's old wedding ring, which I wore on a chain around my neck. "Ready for this, Dad?" I asked. He squeezed my shoulder. "Lead the way, CEO." As we walked to the elevator, I could still hear Diana's screams from the lobby, but I wasn't worried. I had learned from the best, my mother's business skills, my father's innovation, and even Diana's ambition. They had all taught me valuable lessons. Now, it was time to show them exactly what I had learned. The morning after the retirement party, I arrived at Chin Manufacturing earlier than usual, before the sun had even risen. But when I walked into my father's office, he was already there, sorting through years of memories. "Can't sleep either?" I asked, helping him pack a framed photo of him and Mom from the company's grand opening. "I've been thinking about your mother," he said softly. "She always said you had her business instincts. Watch out for that girl. She'll outshine us both someday." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. It was Marcus, our head of IT security. "Miss Chen, we have a situation. Multiple attempts to access our servers from unauthorized locations, and you need to see this." Within minutes, I was staring at my computer screen in disbelief. Someone had leaked confidential company emails to our biggest competitors, but these weren't just any emails. They were carefully selected to make it look like Chin Manufacturing had been engaging in corporate espionage. "Diana," I muttered, "she's trying to trigger an industry investigation." "That's not all," Marcus said grimly. "She's also leaked evidence suggesting your takeover was illegal." The press quickly picked up the story. My phone buzzed with notifications: Tech Harris and hostile takeover scandal. One headline read. Another said, "Family drama threatens industry giant." My father, looking shocked, said, "Alex, I'm so sorry. If I hadn't brought Diana into our lives." "No, Dad," I cut him off. "This isn't your fault, but I know whose fault it is." I pressed the intercom. "Janet, call an emergency board meeting and get me Victoria Chin on the line." "Your cousin, the federal prosecutor?" Dad asked, surprised. I smiled grimly. Diana wanted to play dirty. Time to show her what that really means. The next few hours were chaos. Diana had gone on a morning news show, playing the part of the concerned wife perfectly. "I just want to protect my husband's legacy," she said tearfully. "Alexander's hostile takeover has devastated him, and now with these allegations of corporate espionage." But Diana had made one big mistake. In her rush to destroy me, she had used the stolen USB drive to access company files, leaving a clear digital trail. "Got her," Marcus announced triumphantly. "Every unauthorized access, every leaked document, it all traces back to her brother's IP address." He grinned. "And we found something else, emails between Diana and our biggest competitor, dating back months before she married your father." The pieces clicked into place. Diana had targeted Dee from the beginning. I realized the whole marriage had been a corporate raid. "The oldest trick in the book," Dad said quietly, and I fell for it completely. Just then, my cousin Victoria called back. After hearing the situation, she was silent for a moment. "You know," she said finally, "we've been investigating Diana's brother's firm for months. Tax fraud, money laundering, but we could never prove where the money was coming from. This could be exactly what we need." "Do it," I said firmly. The next day, as Diana was preparing for another TV interview to slander me, federal agents raided her brother's office. By evening, both siblings were in custody, and the truth was all over the news. CEO's wife arrested in manufacturing espionage scandal. Family feud reveals years-long corporate conspiracy. Young CEO saves family company from hidden takeover. But the real satisfaction came when we found out Diana's prenup violation was just the tip of the iceberg. The federal investigation revealed offshore accounts, shell companies, and a pattern of targeting wealthy business owners for marriage scams. 7 other victims were identified. "You and your father were supposed to be number 8, Victoria told me." In the end, Diana and her brother faced federal charges for corporate espionage, fraud, and money laundering. The evidence was overwhelming, but before they were led away, I visited Diana in custody. How? She demanded, now in an orange jumpsuit instead of her designer outfit. How did you know what I was planning? I pulled out an old photo of my mother at my age, standing proudly in front of Chin Manufacturing, because my mother dealt with people like you. All the time. She taught me to spot the vultures circling our company. That's why she made Dad promise to train me properly, to protect her legacy. I leaned closer to Diana, my voice steady. You never had a chance. You were playing checkers. I was playing chess. 3 months later, Chin Manufacturing was stronger than ever. Our stock price soared after the scandal, as clients appreciated how we'd handled the crisis. Dad was truly retired now, traveling the world and sending me postcards from places Mom had always wanted to visit. As for me, I hung Mom's photo in my office, the CEO's office, right next to the latest company achievement, innovation and leadership, Alexander Chen, youngest CEO of the year. But my favorite moment came during a charity gala when I overheard two society women gossiping. Did you hear about James Chen's daughter? The one who exposed that gold digger conspiracy? They say she's twice as brilliant as her mother was and 3 times as ruthless when crossed. I smiled, touching Mom's ring around my neck. They had no idea. In business, as in life, the best revenge isn't serving it cold. It's building something so strong that no one dares to try destroying it again. Dad called that evening from Greece. Your mother would be so proud, he said, his voice thick with emotion, not just of the company, but of who you've become. Looking out over the city from my office window, I thought about everything, the lessons, the loss, the victories I'd learned from the best. I replied, both of you. After all, that's what real family legacy is about. Not the money or the company, but the strength to protect what matters, the wisdom to spot true from false, and the courage to fight for what's yours. Diana had wanted to play games with our company. Instead, she helped make me exactly the CEO Chin Manufacturing needed, one who could spot a threat from a mile away and handle it with the perfect mix of grace and steel, just like Mom would have done.